Dan Illman here, taking a look at the feature race at Aqueduct on Saturday. It is the Grade 3 Toboggan Stakes, 7 furlongs for some nice older sprinters. Before we get to the analysis, check out this great opportunity at DRF.com, presented by our good friends at Woodbine. It's the DRF Horse of the Year Fan Vote Sweepstakes. Submit your vote for a chance to win a trip to the Queen's Plate at Woodbine. Learn more at drf.com/eclipse. Here's the field for the Grade 3 Toboggan. You've got Grade 1 winner Mind Control making his first start as a 4-year-old. First start off of a long layoff. He's your 2-to-1 morning line favorite on David Aragona's line. American Anthem, 7-2. First time Danny Gargan. You've got the hard-hitting Sunny Ridge. T Loves a Fight. Nicodemus. This is a wide open affair. Weather could play a role in this race. We're expecting some wet weather in the New York area over the weekend. Let's look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race. It's a blue bar scenario. Timeform US believes that this race will favor horses up and close to the pace, and American Anthem, the 2, certainly fits the bill. He just doesn't seem to like being in behind horses. Bone Raison, the 6, has speed. Not sure he's fast enough to go with that horse. T Loves a Fight is close, but I would think that American Anthem, with a hustling ride, it could make the lead, and if this Timeform US pace projector is correct, he could be very tough to beat. The 1 Sunny Ridge has got a ton of class, but he's going to have to overcome this pace scenario coming from last, according to Timeform US. He's earned almost $1.5 million in his career. He is a multiple graded stakes winner. He has not sprinted, however, since the Sanford Stakes of 2015. He's done well in one-turn miles in the past, but cutting back to 7 furlongs in a race without much pace could work against him. It was nice to see him get back on the beam last time out, going 1 1/8 at Laurel. The horse he beat, Han Sense, came back to ship up to New York, finished 3rd in the Queens County Stakes with a 90 Beyer speed figure. Sunny Ridge obviously has races good enough to win this. He was 3rd in the Cigar Mile in 2018. We'll see if cutting back in distance, though, works a bit against him. The 2 is American Anthem, and I'm sure you remember American Anthem from when he was trained by Bob Baffert in 2017, 2018. This horse is a multiple graded stakes winner. Now, this will be his first race for Danny Gargan after being purchased at the Keeneland November sale for $145,000. His most recent race was at Keeneland, and he broke from the inside. He got in behind horses. He doesn't seem to like that. He rallied mildly on the rail in a race that produced 2 next out winners. One of them, the runner-up, coming back to win a non-winners of 3 other than at Churchill Downs with a 94 Beyer speed figure. American Anthem, you have to think, is going to be hustled out of there, try to get to the front. Can he do it on a wet track? He's only raced once on wet footing. That was way back in the 2017 Sham when he finished 2nd to Gormley. It was a good enough effort. It makes me think he can handle it, and that Timeform US pace projector is kind. Arch Cat was a horse that I gave a little bit of a shot to last time out in the Dave's Friend Stakes at Laurel. We're going to take a look at that race right now. The classy 3-5 India at 1-2 got the jump on this horse, turning into the stretch. You're going to see Arch Cat, though, in the Green Cat. He's kicking right now. This race was at 6 furlongs, and I think the 6 might be a little bit short for him. He was outpaced a bit on the turn when 3-5 India got away. But look at Arch Cat. He's really reaching for ground, and he's gaining on that odds-on favorite towards the end. He's now Beyered 90 or greater in his last 3 races. He's won 11 of 32 lifetime starts. This horse is in form right now. Now, you only have to go back about 6 months, and he was running for a $16,000 tag. So whether he truly classes up to this kind of horse in a graded stakes race, that's a big question. He does like a wet track, though, and he is sharp. I think the 4 Nicodemus might be the value play in this race. He handles a wet track. He's a proven graded stakes commodity. And let's just go back in his form a little bit for trainer Linda Rice. He won the Westchester over Sunny Ridge over wet going on a 1-turn mile. They ran him in the True North Stakes against Catalina Cruiser, and boy, Catalina Cruiser at that point was one of the better sprinters in the country, and Nicodemus didn't break very well, and he just couldn't close that day. In the Nehru, he had no chance. Promises Fulfilled walked in a half mile in 46 seconds flat. Nicodemus tried to rally from 6 lengths out of it. He couldn't overcome that pace scenario. And then last time out, Linda ran him in the Cigar Mile off an injury-induced long layoff, and he's just not going to beat the likes of Maximum Security and Spun to Run without the benefit of a prep. prep race. Heck, he might not be able to beat them with a prep race or two, but now he has a prep race. He's turning back to 7 where he's comfortable, and if he can stay close to the expected moderate pace, I think Nicodemus is a horse you want to keep an eye on. He is a horse that has earned triple-digit Beyer speed figures over wet tracks, and he's got some ability and perhaps a little bit of upside as well. T Loves a Fight wheels back on a week's notice after finishing a good second against New York breds in the Safe Florida Sandy Stakes. We'll watch that race right now. This race was controlled on the front end by Arthur's Hope. T Loves a Fight was in chase mode throughout, sitting in second, and as always, T Loves a Fight tries extremely hard in the stretch, and he just couldn't get past the leader in the last 16th of a mile. This race produced a career best 96 Beyer speed figure for T Loves a Fight, a figure that would put him in the mix in this year's edition of the Toboggan. And his tactical speed would play well according to the Timeform US pace projector. But as with a couple of others in this race, you only have to go back several months, and T Loves a Fight was in for $10,000. This new barn has done a fantastic job with T Loves a Fight. It'll be curious to see if he can handle graded stakes competition. He's been in very good form over the winter. He obviously likes Aqueduct, and he handles any kind of going. Bone Raison is up next, and Bone Raison's a little bit of an ass, cutting all the way back in distance. He was no match in the Queens County in the Swatara, going 2 turns. The last time he went 1 turn, he was a gate-to-wire winner at Belmont, but boy, I thought Inside Speed did well at Belmont that day. He got to the lead, he rode the rail, and he pulled off an 18-1 upset. He is a stakes winner sprinting this year. He won the Tail of the Cat at Saratoga going 6 furlongs when he got a perfect trip from off of the pace. Another horse that likes wet going, but that 97 Beyer speed figure, it just stands out like a sore thumb. He's going to have to improve, cutting back to a sprint. The 7 is Still Having Fun, and Still Having Fun made his first start off a lengthy layoff as a gelding against fellow Maryland breds in the Bender Memorial last time out. We're going to take a look at that race. Still Having Fun is basically a 1-run closer. He got a little bit up closer to the pace this time out, going 6 furlongs, and he's going to rally down inside to get a piece. All in all, I thought this was an excellent way to start off his season. 5-year-old now for the first time, but this was a really nice effort off of the layoff, something that he can build off of, and I really think the 7 is what he wants as well. The question is the pace scenario. Can Still Having Fun stay close enough to this pace and still kick home despite giving up several lengths to horses that might be fresh turning into the stretch? The story of this race is the number 8 Mind Control, and I think these connections have just done a fantastic job with this horse since day one. He won the Grade 1 Hopeful Stakes as a 2-year-old, and despite winning the Jerome and finishing second in the Gotham, a couple of Kentucky Derby preps early in his 3-year-old season, the connections decided to keep him sprinting, and they were rewarded with this race on the Travers undercard, the signature race for 3-year-old sprinters, the H. Allen Jerkins. And yes, that's the speedy Chancelot on the lead. Mind Control's in the red cap with the red and white striped sleeves, and he's only going to get his nose down in front in the very last stride. Keep in mind that the outside paths were the places to be, and that Chancelot might have been compromised by being down inside, but Mind Control showed a lot of guts in that race. We know what Chancelot can do. He came back to run second in the Santa Anita Sprint with a 102 Beyer, second in the Breeders' Cup Sprint with a 110 Beyer. Mind Control himself earned a 97 Beyer speed figure in this race, and he has the tactical speed to stay close. You're going to have to deal with a layoff. After this race, the connections decided, hey, we want to give this horse time to grow up. We want him to be a really top-notch sprinter as a 4-year-old. Now, he's going to catch a decent field off of a long layoff. He obviously can win. At a short price, though, you might want to have it in the back of your mind that maybe they're prepping for races like the Carter later this spring. The Sicarai, well, he's going to be a long shot. He's sharp. He just won a $40,000 claimer last time out. We're going to take a look at that race right now. He's the number 4, and he's coming widest into the stretch. Now, you're going to see that he starts playing a little bit of games here. He's going to start drifting out to the center of the track, and then finally, when he's righted, he's eventually going to just wear these horses down to win by a length and 3/4. He's not going to be able to pull these antics against better horses, however, and this Beyer speed figure of a 74 pales in comparison to those of the top contenders in this race. We take a look at my top pick for this race, and I just like American Anthem when he is allowed to carve out the fractions. I thought his last race at Keeneland was not great, but I don't think the scenario worked to his advantage. I think he is on ascend under Manny Franco. Danny Gargan does very good work with horses first time in his care, and I'm hoping American Anthem, catching Mind Control off a layoff, is able to hold him off. I went 2, 8, 5, and 4 with the 4 Nicodemus, a horse you might want to seriously consider in multiple race wagers. It's the feature race at the Big A on Saturday, the Grade 3 Toboggan, and it has an approximate post of 3:55 Eastern. Good luck.